Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is one of those videos that I'm actually surprised it's taken me this long to put together because this is a question that I'm asked all the time in real life. So, I mean, off the internet, you know what I mean? So I'm actually really excited to get into it. This video is all about where I shop. So where do I buy things from? And I do want to go through this with a little bit of a disclaimer because just because you might buy things from a certain place, that doesn't mean that things are always going to look good. So styling is definitely a big component of that. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video around sort of like how I dress myself, how I combine my clothes, tips and tricks, things like that. Let me know if that sounds interesting to you, but I do think it is really, really helpful to just kind of list out all the different places that I go to over and over and over again to buy my clothes, because some of these you may have never heard of before. I mean, if you're really fashion forward, you probably have, but you never know. So I thought I would just share some of my favorites and let me know if any of these are your favorites too. So let's jump right in. So something that I like to do every every couple of quarters, is I like to sit down and look at all my expenses. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I actually categorized all my expenses for the last couple of quarters. Specifically around my clothing, I categorized exactly where I'm purchasing things from, as well as if they fall into the tier of fast fashion, sort of mid-tier luxury, and then ultra luxury. Because honestly, I'm a very data-driven person in my professional life, so I thought, why not apply that to my personal life? And I was just genuinely curious. And the reason I'm telling you that is because I think it is interesting to understand sort of the breakdown of not only where I buy things, but like what kind of clothing I'm buying exactly. So in the last couple of quarters, 36% of my money that I spent, so this isn't number of items, so I probably honestly bought more items, say, from fast fashion than luxury, but the percentage of my money, 36% of it went towards fast fashion, 12% of it went towards sort of mid-tier clothing brands, and then 52% of it went towards luxury fashion. And I'll get into sort of the brands that I'm defining as like luxury versus mid-tier versus fast fashion. I personally was really happy with this just because I am trying to buy less fast fashion, and you know, at the end of the day, we all have different budgets, so I'm not saying that this is a bad thing, but I definitely am trying to just be more thoughtful in general with my purchases. And so a lot of times I was noticing, especially in fast fashion, sometimes I would buy things in more of an impulse because it is cheaper and I wasn't thinking through it as clearly. So I am trying to avoid that. So even though 36% of it is going towards fast fashion, I will say a large chunk of that from the last half was actually from Mango and their Victoria Beckham collection. So I bought 2 suits from that, and then I ended up actually buying a 3rd Victoria Beckham suit for my courthouse wedding outfit. So that was quite a large chunk. So even some of those numbers are a little bit higher than they probably normally would have been. But yeah, overall, pretty happy with that. So for luxury brands that I purchase things from pretty regularly, Totem is one of those. I'm actually wearing Totem pants right now. In fact, the outfit I'm wearing right now is actually very representative of sort of how I dress. I'm wearing Totem cotton pants, a Zara vest, and a Zara tank top, my Hermes Apple Watch, and then my Birkenstock shoes. So very much a mix and match sort of high and low. But yeah, Totem I consider to be a luxury brand. Hermes, obviously. Even AD in Paris. This is sort of an independent designer, but they definitely do have more of a luxury tier price point. So I've included them in the luxury space. Mid-tier, I would say that's like a Flattered, a Margot. You guys know I love them for my shoes and bags and things. So that's kind of who I go to. I would say like Aloha's, Dish, Lily Silk. All of those brands kind of fall into like mid-tier for me, where they're not designer prices, but they're definitely not fast fashion. They're say 100% silk, 100% leather. They're more to that like $300 to $500 range for an item. And then of course, fast fashion's pretty explainable. It's, you know, the Mangos, the Zaras, the H&Ms of the world. So just kind of wanted to give you a little breakdown. And then now I'm going to go in specifically to not only the various places that I shop, but what exactly it is that I like to buy from those places. Because I do think certain brands and certain marketplaces, I go to them for different things. So let's just get into it. And this is why I've made a nice coffee. And I'm sitting down in a very comfortable chair in my living room instead of on the floor in my bedroom, because I knew this was going to be an extensive video. So let's actually start with luxury, just because I think that is, I don't know, the most interesting in the sense that for me, I get a lot of my luxury purchases from either directly from the brand or from a marketplace. So the marketplaces, I think, are the most kind of diverse and the most interesting to me. These are the things that I actually kind of check on a daily basis. I check The RealReal on a daily basis. I check Net-a-Porter on a daily basis, mostly just because I love fashion and I'm just really curious about new and interesting things that are coming in. And I just like to browse these for inspiration more than anything. It's rare that I'm purchasing something from these platforms, but these are platforms that I like to go on for fun. So if you love fashion too, which you probably do because you're watching this video, you'll probably enjoy browsing these. So let's start with my favorite. Actually, this is really in no particular order. So The RealReal. The RealReal is where I personally love to shop for vintage. So things from, I have saved searches for The Row, Hermes, Totem, Bottega. Like, I use it in a few different ways, and I won't get into too many details because I'd actually love to do a full separate video on how I do shop vintage, particularly on The RealReal, because I have some really particular strategies. But in general, I do love The RealReal for bargains in terms of like designer jeans. So for example, I was looking for a pair of black flared denim the other day, and they had a pair of frame denim for $35. So you can get some really incredible deals on designer brands on The RealReal, and you can also get some really just unique and interesting pieces. I also love The RealReal because you're seeing older stuff. You're seeing things from, of course, like very vintage, say 20, 30 plus years ago, but you're also just seeing things from 4 or 5 seasons ago. So I find that when I buy things on The RealReal, I'm buying them because I truly love them and I think the aesthetic is really interesting, instead of buying something that's necessarily like trendy or just like in style for the season. And I always think that's a great idea and a great plan. So I love The RealReal for vintage items. I do not worry about authenticity with The RealReal. However, I would just say be smart. Obviously, if you're buying, really high-end stuff like an Hermes bag or something, learn all the different signs and do your own homework. Don't just like blindly trust any online platform ever. But in general, I've had great success with The RealReal in the past. So love that for like luxury vintage stuff. Farfetch is another kind of luxury marketplace that I love. And the things that I love specifically, like things that I bought recently in the past on Farfetch, are things from Totem, that beautiful Jill Sander knit top that's kind of summery for like vacations and whatnot. My Mason Margiela jeans. They have an incredible breadth of stuff. So I really love their variety of brands that they have on there. And something to note about Farfetch is that it's sort of a curation of a ton of international boutiques. So these are stores in France, Italy, Germany, Australia, all over, and they kind of handle everything for you, the imports, the customs, like all of that, shipping, returns. So Farfetch is kind of the infrastructure, and then they support all of these independent boutiques and whatnot that are on there. And that's really great for the buyer in a few ways, and it's not so great in other ways. It's great because you can get this breadth of product. It's also really helpful. So for example, a lot of Totem stuff is so much cheaper in Europe because of currency conversion and whatnot. And so sometimes you can pick things up for much cheaper, actually buying it from a store, from the Totem store in Sweden, and them shipping it to you on Farfetch, than purchasing something on Net-a-Porter where they're including like really high import duties and higher conversion and stuff. So that's like a little bit of a tip. It is a bit of a downside because it is going to these independent boutiques. They have a shorter return window, so you have to return something within 14 days. So you kind of got to decide pretty quick if you like something or not. And sometimes returns can take a little bit longer, but I honestly actually don't find them to take longer than say on a Net-a-Porter or something. So yeah, really like Farfetch. Net-a-Porter, I do prefer their curation. It's not, which is kind of opposite to what I'm saying. I love Farfetch because of the breadth of the product, but sometimes it can be a little bit too much. And I do love that Net-a-Porter is like really curated. I love looking through their like brand new items when they say that something new is dropped. They've just got really great stuff from Totem, Kate, all the brands, even Birkenstock. I bought my Birkenstocks off of there. So yeah, Net-a-Porter is really great for that. They also always have incredible sales. Stuff will go on sale 40% and you can get like 50% on top of that. And I love their little wish list feature. So I will heart a lot of things and they'll let you know if it's about to sell out or if it's on sale. So that's a strategy that I really like to use for Net-a-Porter. So yeah, Net-a-Porter and Farfetch are probably my two favorite. Moda Operandi is another one. LSD started this. Lauren Santo Domingo, I think is her full name. She's known as LSD. She's this incredible woman, has the most amazing style. You should totally follow her on Instagram for inspiration. But she started this platform. Really love Moda Operandi. Great one for inspiration. I don't know why I don't tend to go to it as much. They have a little bit less than Net-a-Porter in terms of like inventory flowing through it, but I did get a styled Caravaggio dress on sale that I absolutely love from there. So yeah, it's another great option. Again, I don't go on it as much, not really sure why, but yeah, it's a great one too. The other one that I've only purchased a couple of things from, but I do recommend for kind of designer deals is Satire. And Satire is, I've read online that it's like a drop shipper. So I guess it finds deals and then, I don't know, links you up with whoever's got the discounted item and then fulfills the order, which a lot of people were kind of creeped out by, but I don't know. I've never had a problem with the site. You definitely can get like in-season designer items on sale, which is fantastic. I got my Mason Margiela gray jeans on sale. I got them for, I believe, $500 when they were like $700. Jill Sanders swimsuits and stuff I've seen on there. So they have a lot of really great items that kind of pop up. Again, their returns process, I've heard, is quite quick because I guess it is a drop shipper, so it does need to be quite quick so they can sell it to someone else. I think it's around a 14-day period too, but it's a nice option if you're looking for something really in particular that you want to get on sale. You could try Satire. Another one that, again, I don't browse as much, but I've gotten really great stuff on there, especially on sale, is Essence. So Sense. I hate that it's called Essence. For the longest time, I called it Sense, but it's really called Essence. And I've gotten my Totem robe coat on there. They have a ton of great stuff. Lots of sales from Totem, Kate, The Row, again, a lot of my favorite brands. And they also have a really great selection of shoes from AD, which you all know is like one of my favorite brands. I've gotten sandals from there before on sale. So yeah, they tend to have more like, I don't want to say street style, but sort of like edgy, alternative. But again, all the brands that I love, like I just mentioned, Totem, Kate, The Row, AD. So they definitely have classic items as well. I don't tend to love the UI as much as Net-a-Porter, but a great place to look. Super fast shipping, really great returns, good customer service. So I can definitely vouch for them in all of those areas. And then, of course, there's the Nordstrom, Revolve, Saks. I don't love their UIs as much. I find them to be a bit clunky and too much stuff kind of on the site. So again, I tend to only go to those if I know exactly what I want and I see something on sale. I might purchase through them. Nordstrom, of course, has the very famous, I don't know if they still do this actually. Let me know if they don't, but the whole like return stuff forever policy, which is kind of nice, I guess. So yeah, those are sort of all the different marketplaces that I frequent for more like luxury purchases. I should also mention that both, as far as I'm aware, because I have rewards with them, both Farfetch and Net-a-Porter do have a reward system. So the more you spend, you start getting, you know, birthday discounts and early access to sales. If you spend a lot, I believe it's around 10 to 12,000. I'm not in that camp, thank God. But if you really spend a lot, which honestly isn't that hard to do on a place like Net-a-Porter or Farfetch, you can even get personal shopping and stuff. So it is kind of nice that they do reward you for purchasing things on the site. But yeah, in terms of luxury, I really love the marketplaces, and yeah, I just love the fact that I kind of know how easy it is to return stuff, and I feel like they're more approachable than going into like a luxury store. So I just kind of, yeah, I just enjoy them for inspiration and ease of use and all of the above. However, I do purchase firsthand for some luxury things. Hermes does not sell through any third parties, any wholesale. So you have to purchase things on the site. I've bought, you know, my belt, my little Kelly 19 belt, my Oran sandals. You know, they don't have a huge breadth of things available online, but I have noticed that more and more things are available online. So yeah, I will look at Hermes for sort of those accessories and things. When it comes to bags, I do tend to buy vintage just because it's like impossible to get directly from Hermes. But in general, I will go directly to Hermes for accessories and things like that. And they just have a beautiful number of stores in New York that are just kind of like fun to go into on the weekends. That brand ADN Paris is another that, again, I'll probably do a whole separate video on, but they have really beautiful made in Paris, based in Paris items, gorgeous classics, button-up shirts, shirt dresses, trousers, kind of like really chic but simple Parisian basics, and you have to order directly from their website. Note, you do have to pay customs for anything over, I believe, $600. So just be aware of that, because that can add up pretty quickly. And customs are around 20 to 25%. They're quite expensive, but that's a really kind of beautiful independent brand, and more like luxury brand. And then the other pro tip I will say, even though I do like buying a lot of my Totem stuff directly from Net-a-Porter or Farfetch, like I mentioned, the Totem app has early access to a lot of their sales and things. So I do enjoy actually just ordering through that. And yeah, so if you want to download that and kind of play around and look at that, their app is really good. And again, you can get some early access sales, which is always nice. So that's kind of the whole luxury spectrum. Like I said, that's where I spend about half of my money and where I like to get really inspired. However, as you can see it here, I really like mixing it up with my outfits and with my accessories, especially if I'm trying to be a little more trendy or trend-led and stuff. Then I will definitely go to that like mid-tier kind of fast fashion. So let's talk about mid-tier quickly. So it's no surprise, or will be no surprise to you, that my most beloved, and I would consider mid-tier brands where most of their items are like $100 to $500, I would consider COS to be mid-tier. They have really high quality, a lot of very responsible, responsible wool, responsible organic cotton, just responsible production in general for the most part with COS that I love. Really high quality items for the price point. So if you're new to my channel, I have probably like 10 videos about COS stuff at this point. COS is probably, if I could only shop in one place for the rest of my life, it would be COS. I just love COS. It's amazing, just interesting styled clothes that are classic, but with a little bit of a twist and still very modern and really well made. I just love them. So COS is definitely my like number one sort of mid-tier brands that I like shopping at, but I think most of you have probably heard of COS. If you haven't, definitely check them out. I will say it's a bit unfortunate they're not in every city, just because with COS, I find a lot of the silhouettes and things, it's really important to try them on. So watch some of my videos. I try to do seasonal reviews of stuff because hopefully that can help a little bit. But yeah, it is tough. And they do a good job with returns and stuff. So at worst, it's not great for the environment, but I would highly recommend ordering, trying stuff on because their silhouettes can be a little bit tricky sometimes. Another brand that I haven't purchased too many things from, I've only been playing around really with their shoes and stuff, but they seem to have really beautiful leather accessories. And again, minimal chic clothing that's made out of, 100% cotton, 100% leather. That's really, I feel like, the differentiator. You're starting to see certain fast fashion brands move into that like 100% cotton, 100% wool, but you're still seeing a lot of polyester and a lot of synthetic fibers in that realm, just because from a cost perspective, you kind of have to do that. But in the mid tier, you definitely start getting into really gorgeous natural materials, which I love. So the brand St. Agni, they are an Australian brand. In fact, there's quite a few Australian brands. I feel like the Aussies, the Swedes, they just know style. They know chic minimalism. So if you see that a brand is Australian or from Denmark or Sweden, probably a really, really chic, really great brand. But yeah, St. Agni is wonderful. They also sell on Net-a-Porter and Essence and other sites. So if you're trying new stuff from them for the first time, like for example, their shoes or whatnot, I would highly recommend ordering off somewhere like a Net-a-Porter to like understand your sizing, and then you can order directly from the brand because they are Australian. It will be coming from Australia. Although I find them to be actually relatively fast in terms of shipping. So yeah, leather, shoes, bags, minimal, but very chic. Really love St. Agni for that. They have this gorgeous maxi leather skirt that I have my eye on. Oh, it's so, so, so beautiful. So yeah, St. Agni is really great for that. Another Aussie brand that I've talked about a lot is, of course, Dish. For the longest time, they sort of came into the market and they were really known for their linen pieces, and they still have absolutely beautiful linen pieces, 100%. But they actually also now, like, I've gotten really great knitwear from them, really cute, like suit sets and stuff. So I love how they're sort of expanding what they're known for into just all around very beautiful, very stylish clothing. In fact, everything that I'm wearing right now could easily be from Dish. It's very much that like minimal feminine girl aesthetic. And they do a really great job. Again, even though it's coming from Australia, I find shipping to be very quick and returns are great. They use something called Happy Returns where you can just bring it, I think it's to FedEx or UPS, I can't remember. And they basically just inspect it and give you the refund right in that moment. So you don't have to wait for it to go back to their factory and have someone inspect it and then you process it and then you get the payment back 10 days later. Like, we've all been there, and that really, it's just like annoying when companies do that. But anyway, Hermes and others. But yeah, so in general, I just find their stuff to be really nice, really just chic, minimal. I'll kind of be like flashing stuff on the screen so that you guys have an idea of the brand aesthetic and what I'm talking about. Another, to be honest, I don't actually know where this brand is based, but another brand that I have talked about in previous videos is Aloha's. They are really great for shoes. So they do kind of a more sustainable model where a lot of times you will pre-order. So some shoes you can get on demand. I just got these gorgeous shoes, high-heeled sandals recently. They also will sell through wholesale through other providers. Like I've seen them on Revolve, Zappos, other places. But in general, you can order straight from them, pre-order so that they kind of know exactly how much to manufacture and then they don't over-manufacture. So that's been great. But in addition to shoes, they've also been adding like swimsuits, dresses, like other things into their portfolio of objects. I've never actually ordered any of this stuff. I still really just love them for like comfortable, cool shoes. So that's all I can really recommend because that's all I've known them for. But yeah, they make really great, cool, modern, comfortable heels, which is fun. Kind of, you know what, I'm gonna stick with the whole shoes and bag. It's kind of funny because like most of these brands in the mid-tier are actually brands that I go to for shoes and for handbags. And I think that's because I love a high quality shoe but I don't necessarily need like a designer shoe, if that makes sense. Like I love an all leather, really comfortable constructed heel, but I don't need them to be like Saint Laurent heels. I'd rather have a Saint Laurent handbag or sunglasses, just because I feel like walking around New York, like no matter how nice your shoes are, you sort of have to get them fixed over time. And so yeah, I tend to just like the mid-tier because it's like high quality materials, but not gonna be overly upset about it if I ruin them over the years, of course. So on the shoe train, really great kind of mid-tier brands would be the comfort shoes. So these are brands that market themselves as making really comfortable heels, which they are very comfortable. So Margot falls into that camp. I love their heels. I have multiple pairs of their really classic block heel. Inez is another one who I just purchased a pair of heels from that I really like, and they're super, super comfortable as well. So those would fall into the category. AD is a German shoe brand that has just exploded over the last couple of years. They really pioneered the whole square toe kind of ballet shoe trend over the last couple of years, and the whole Mary Jane trend. And yeah, they just make very cool, comfortable. They've really skyrocketed their prices, I will say, over the last couple of years because they've become so popular. I can't really fault them for that, but yeah, they're definitely a lot more expensive than they used to be, unfortunately, but they make really interesting, you know, boots, heels, flats, and I will say they wear beautifully. I'm still wearing my ballet flats like all the time from many years ago, as well as sandals, so cannot recommend AD enough. And then kind of the last ones in terms of shoes would be Flattered. So I have a couple pairs of shoes from them, as well as it's really the handbags for me from Flattered. You all know how I feel about the Hedda bag. It is my favorite purse of all time. I have it in multiple sizes, multiple colors. It's just my go-to. I love it. So again, a brand from Stockholm. Very minimal, very chic, very understated, especially right now in the times that we're living in when I am traveling, especially abroad in Europe. I'm more nervous to wear my designer purses. Like I don't think I'm actually even going to bring my Hermes bag to Paris this year just because robbery and whatnot is rampant, unfortunately. And so it's just nice to have a bag that is really understated like this. So I love, love, love Flattered for their bags, especially the Hedda bag. And then the final kind of mid-tier brand that I really love to shop is Lily Silk. Again, I have a whole video about them. Most of these, it would be weird to not have a video about most of these brands because I really do shop there. And Lily Silk is great for exactly what it sounds like. They're silk, but there is, of course, a lot more to it. They've expanded into cashmere and whatnot, but I love my silk items, my silk shirts, my silk trousers, my pajamas from Lily Silk. I absolutely love. I even have silk underwear from Lily Silk that I'm obsessed with. They're my sleeping underwear. I just love them. They're so comfortable and very like luxurious. So yeah, Lily Silk is really great for that, and truly high quality materials, like 100% mulberry silk, wears beautifully, and you just always look really chic and put together, I feel like, when I'm wearing stuff from them. So yeah, Lily Silk is a great go-to for like work clothes, more formal outfits, or pajamas, I would say, is what I would recommend. And that's it for the mid-tier brands. My computer's over here if you're wondering why I'm staring off into the corner. I want to make sure I took notes to get everything right. But yeah, now let's talk about the fast fashion brands and where I like to shop. Like to shop. Ooh, that was like a little Aussie coming out. I'm not Australian. I don't know where they came from, but so the fast fashion brands that I love to shop at. So out of all the fast fashion brands, it's so hard to say. Honestly, these are in no particular order because I really, truly rotate between so many of these. Mango is, I would say, probably the most high quality fast fashion brand, even though I will say Zara and H&M are really stepping it up over the last couple of years. So Mango I love for coats. They have these 100% wool handmade coats that are gorgeous for like $150. You can get coats of upwards of $300, $400 that look stunning. I also think they do a really great job with their handbags and their shoes. So if you are looking for a more understated bag that's still trendy, I think Mango has really nice options. And they've also, I haven't ever bought one of them, so I can't really attest to the quality, but their formal dresses, they have some really gorgeous dresses for more formal occasions I'm noticing as well. But that is really what I love to buy from Mango. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, a huge chunk of my fast fashion money went towards these gorgeous suits from Victoria Beckham that they had a collab with her earlier this year. But these linen and wool blend suits are just stunning. So I just think in terms of like tailoring and coats and whatnot, Mango does such a nice job for very low price point, in my opinion. Then Zara is what I'm wearing right now, and this is what I love Zara for. I love it for just like basics, like little tank tops, little vests like this. Actually sweaters. Some of my favorite sweaters are from Zara, and they really have been leaning into using better materials. Like this is 100% linen vest. It was $100. This vest was not cheap. So I like how they're upping the quality, even though they're upping the price. It's really stunning stuff that is classic and that I'm gonna have in my wardrobe for a long time. I have 100% wool sweaters that I absolutely love. You guys know my scarf sweaters. Oh, I love those sweaters. So believe it or not, sweaters from Zara, who would have thought? Also cute little jackets. They do really nice, cute little wool jackets. I do find Zara to be a lot more trendy, so you have to be a little bit more careful, I guess, in terms of what you're buying. But yeah, you can definitely get some gems out of there if you kind of comb through. I delete the app off my phone over time because I find if I'm like on Zara too much, they're just putting out so much on a regular basis that's when I can get into trouble and just like buying things that I don't need. But in general, I will check in and yeah, pick up some really great stuff. I've also gotten some really incredible shoes. Some of my favorite little flat Mary Janes. They look like the Row. They were like $50, 100% leather from Zara. And then my little mesh shoes from Zara. Yeah, I've gotten some real gems from Zara, I will say. And then H&M, I tend to like for basics. So truly like t-shirts, swimsuits, pajamas. I really love the H&M premium line. They have fantastic stuff in there. Their little silk cotton blend t-shirts are some of my favorite. Their cashmere sweaters are some of my favorite. So just because it's H&M, they definitely have really beautiful premium options. I've got leather pants from there that I absolutely love. So, but I do tend to really go for more of the basics. So, you know, black linen. I love anything linen from H&M. They do such an incredible job. I also really love H&M Home, I will say. I know that doesn't have anything to do with clothes, but they do such a great job in my mind. I actually like H&M Home more than Zara Home personally. And I say this in every video around H&M, but if you download the app, they have flash sales all the time. So you can usually always get like 20 to 30% off. And H&M I think is already definitely the lowest price point between Zara and Mango. So adding like a 20-30% on top of that is wild to me. So yeah, H&M is great for all of those little basics. And then Quince. I always say it wrong in my videos. I say Quince. I do not know why, but apparently it's Quince. So thank you for whoever wrote on my last video that it's Quince. It is Quince. And Quince is great for, again, all of these places. You can get really incredible stuff and you can also get some very unfortunate looking stuff. So don't just like blindly buy things. Definitely, you know, comb through all of the items. Quince, I find like you can get some pretty, I don't know, I'm trying to use my words carefully here, but very outdoorsy-esque items that aren't as metropolitan as I would normally like to have. But they are really fantastic, again, for their linen. I love their linen pieces. I think they're so casual. They wash really well. They wear super well. They're an incredible price point. Their silk pieces are really, really beautiful. Their silk dresses. Oh, they had these silk pants that sold out that I'm really hoping they bring back in the fall because they were like a silk drawstring pant. So chic, so beautiful, 100% silk, and you can wash them. Oh, so good. Their jewelry, I'm wearing their jewelry right now. I have not taken these pearl earrings and this pearl necklace is like $50. And I think it looks so expensive. It's so beautiful. I will say I'm not always the biggest fan of their gold jewelry, just because I find their gold to be very warm. It's not a cool gold, and I prefer more of a cool gold. But in general, I do think their jewelry is really, really beautiful. And this is actually a little diamond cluster from them. And then of course their cashmere. They're the king of the $50 cashmere sweater, and it's actually a really nice sweater. Very great. Really perfect for someone that maybe can't afford, higher end cashmere. Great entry point to be able to add some natural fibers to your wardrobe if you're on sort of the lower end of the budget of things. And then the final kind of fast fashion ones are, I would say, more unknown, that you may not have heard of before, but that I think are great for more like trendy, interesting pieces. So Pixie Market and Frankie Shop. I actually haven't purchased anything from Frankie Shop in quite a while, because their items got almost like too trendy for me, and I was kind of pulling back and trying to add more sort of classic staples to my wardrobe. But in general, Frankie Shop, if you're looking for really unique, cool clothes, awesome dresses, really great suiting, it's very, it's Korean wholesale. So they purchase from a lot of independent Korean brands and then mark them as Frankie Shop, if you didn't know. And because of that, it's got that really cool Korean street style, very oversized fits. So again, definitely more on the trendy side of the spectrum. And she's just done an incredible job sort of elevating this brand. And they do a nice job with price points too. No, it's not the highest quality of materials, but you also can get suits for like $300. So really good price point for more like high fashion type stuff. Pixie Market, I think, is like a little secret. So fun fact, actually, the woman, I can't remember, I think they co-founded Frankie Shop. I can't remember how they're related exactly. I'm pretty sure they might have co-founded Frankie Shop, but they are related in some way. And then the woman spun off Pixie Market, and Pixie Market is a little more sustainable, a little bit smaller, still got that Korean wholesale going on, but they find just really far less pieces than Frankie Shop. Frankie Shop also mixes in a lot more designer brands like JW Anderson and stuff, and Sport Max. But Pixie Market really plays in that $100 to $300 range. I love them for suiting. I love them for dresses. Just really cool. One of my favorite little faux leather maxi skirts is from Pixie Market. So yeah, really, really great. Sometimes the sizing's a bit off. I've had to return. I got a strapless dress one time that was a bit too big, but always have a fine time returning. No big deal. You do have to email them, which is, they don't have like an instant kind of return thing like some more established brands, but it is like a smaller company. But if you're wanting like trendy, interesting pieces that not everyone's going to be wearing, Pixie Market is a really good tip, I will say. And then some other ones that are more European. This is a Swedish brand. It's called Naked Fashion, so NAKD. They do a lot of collabs with some of my favorite influencers. So Claire Rose does a ton of collabs with them. Lydia Tomlinson does collabs with them. And if you want more of that like less expensive, again, not great fabrics, but trendier pieces, Naked Fashion's really good for that. They also had some crazy sales the last time I purchased this gorgeous jacket from the Claire Rose collab. And it's cool, it's oversized, I love it. It's like a really unique piece. So if you kind of want, again, more of those like less expensive trendy items, Naked Fashion's really, really good for that. And then other places where I've actually had really great luck this year with just basics and classics were Calvin Klein and Old Navy. So Old Navy had really great workout wear, swimsuits, and dresses, I thought. So yeah, just a reminder, like, don't sleep on Old Navy. They've got cute stuff. So yeah, in general, those are all the places that I shop. I know that God, this video is gonna be so long, I can tell, but I love fashion, I love clothes, I'm looking at clothes constantly. I just get so much joy out of it. That's why I do this channel. It's just purely for my own enjoyment and for just connecting with you all because I just love it so much and I love sharing it. So yeah, hopefully you found this informative and interesting and maybe this inspired you to check out a new place. Please let me know in the comments below if there is a place that I did not touch on that is your favorite place to shop, because the internet is a big wide place and there's, I'm sure, a bajillion places that I've yet to discover, and I would love to know your favorites in the comment section below. Please, please, please do not hold back. Let me know, and yeah, I will see you all in my next video.